everyone, and welcome to Funday Monday number 20. Today we are going to create a elephant bath mitt for the kiddos. And if you're ready to get started, grab your hook, grab your yarn, and let's begin. To get started, we are going to create a slip knot. So we're going to wrap the yarn around our finger once. We're going to wrap it again a second time right behind that first loop that we put on. We're going to ever so gently grab that first loop and loosen it a little bit so we can slide right in here with our hook underneath it and grab the second one and pull it through, and there is our slip knot. We're going to begin our bath mitt with a chain of 17. And when you have a foundation chain of 17, we are going to begin row 1. We are going to work single crochets all the way across the row, starting in the second chain from the hook. So we're going to skip this first chain and we're going to come right into that second chain and create our first single crochet. To create a single crochet, you're going to insert your hook into the stitch, yarn over and pull up a loop. You have 2 loops on the hook. You're going to yarn over and pull through both loops. So we're going to continue all the way across this first row, making single crochets into each stitch. When you get to the end of the row, you will have a total of 16 single crochets. So go ahead and finish working across the row, and I will meet up with you at the end. When you get to the end of row 1, I am going to take my little foundation tail and I'm going to pull it up into the back here because I'm going to work it in as I go. We're going to chain 1, turn our work, and we're going to work single crochet stitches all the way across for row 2. As I'm working my single crochet stitches, I will work in that foundation tail. And if you're doing the same, just work it in for as many stitches that you feel comfortable and feel that it is secured in nicely. And we're just working single crochet stitches all the way across in each of the single crochets that we made for row 1. And I'm just going to do 1 or 2 more single crochets, and then I will cut off any remaining tail that I have. All right, I'm going to go ahead and trim the rest of my foundation tail. And we're just going to continue all the way across row 2, making single crochets in each of those stitches. So if you'll go ahead and finish this row, I will meet you at the end of row 2. And again, you will have a total of 16 single crochets when you get to the end of row 2. When you get to the end of row 2, we are going to chain 1, turn our work, and for rows 3 through 10, we are just going to repeat row 2 by working a single crochet stitch in each single crochet across the row. So again, at the end of each row, you will have a total of 16 single crochets. So go ahead and work 16 single crochets across each row, and I will meet up with you at the end of row 10. So when you get to the end of the 10th row, we are going to chain 1, turn our work, and we are going to work 2 single crochets into this very first stitch. And then we're going to work a single crochet in each stitch all the way across until we get to the very last stitch, and in that last stitch we will work another 2 single crochets, and that will give us a total of 18 single crochets for row 11. So we're just going to continue working single crochets all the way across. And then in this very last stitch, we are going to work 2 single crochets. And then we're going to chain 1 and turn our work. For rows 12 and 13, we are going to repeat row 11. And so that is working 2 single crochets into the first stitch, single crochets in each stitch across, and then in the very last stitch 2 single crochets into that one stitch. So continue doing that all the way across for rows 12 and 13, and I will meet up with you at the end of row 13. So when you get to the end of row 13, we are going to chain 1 and turn our work. And for rows 14 through 17, we are going to repeat row 2 by simply crocheting a single crochet stitch in each stitch across. So for these next 4 rows, go ahead and work a single crochet in each stitch across, and I will meet you at the end of row 17. All right, so we're at the end of row 17. We're going to chain 1, and we're going to do a single crochet decrease over the next 3 stitches. So we're going to insert our hook into the first stitch, pull up a loop, insert our hook into the next stitch, pull up a loop, and insert our hook into the third stitch and pull up a loop. We should have a total of 4 loops on our hook. Yarn over and pull through all 4 loops. We're now going to single crochet in each stitch across until we get to the last 3 stitches. So let's go ahead and single crochet in each stitch across. And when we get to the last 3 stitches here, we're going to do a single crochet decrease across those 3 stitches. So insert your hook and pull up a loop, go into the second stitch, yarn over and pull up a loop, and go into the last stitch and yarn over and pull up a loop, 4 loops on the hook, yarn over and pull through all 4. And that completes row 18. And you should have a total of 18 single crochets across this row. Row 19, we're going to chain 1, and we're going to do exactly what we did for row 18. We're going to single crochet decrease across the first 3 stitches. So insert, pull up a loop, second stitch, insert, pull up a loop, and third stitch, insert, pull up a loop, 4 loops on the hook, yarn over, and pull through all 4. And then we're going to single crochet right across until we have 3 stitches remaining. And when we have 3 stitches remaining, we're going to work our single crochet decrease, insert into the first one and pull up a loop, insert into the second one, pull up a loop, and insert into the last one and pull up a loop. 4 loops on the hook. We're going to yarn over and pull through all 4. And now we should have a total of 14 single crochets across the row. We're going to chain 1, turn our work, and we're going to do a single crochet decrease in the first 2 single crochets. So we're going to insert our hook into this first stitch and pull up a loop, put our hook into the next stitch and pull up a loop, 3 loops on the hook, yarn over, and pull through all 3 loops. And now we're going to single crochet across in the next 10 single crochet stitches, and then we'll do a single crochet decrease in the last 2. So here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and of course we're working single crochets in all of these. 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And we have 2 single crochets left. So we're going to work a single crochet decrease, insert your hook, pull up a loop, and in the last stitch, insert, pull up a loop, 3 loops on the hook, yarn over, and pull through all 3. All right, now we're going to chain 1 and turn. And for rows 21 through 23, we're going to repeat row 2, which is simply just working a single crochet in each stitch across. So go ahead and work a single crochet in each stitch across. You should have a total of 12 single crochets at the end of each row. And when you get to the end of row 23, I will meet back up with you. So we're at the end of row 23. To start row 24, we're going to chain 1 and turn our work. And we're going to work a single crochet decrease across the first 2 stitches. So we're going to insert our hook into the first one, pull up a loop, insert our hook into the second one, pull up a loop. We have 3 loops on the hook, yarn over, and pull through all 3. We're now going to work a single crochet in each stitch across until we get to the last 2 stitches. And when we get to the last 2 stitches, we're going to work a single crochet decrease across those 2 stitches. So insert, pull up a loop, insert, pull up a loop, 3 loops on the hook, yarn over, and pull through all 3. And you should have a total of 10 single crochet. To start row 25, we're going to chain 1, turn our work, and we're going to work a single crochet decrease across the next 2 stitches, which is a repeat of the very last row that we just did. So we're going to insert our hook, pull up a loop, insert our hook, pull up a loop, 3 loops on the hook, yarn over, and pull through all 3. And we're going to single crochet in each stitch across until we get to the last 2 stitches. And when we get to the last 2 stitches, we're going to work a single crochet decrease across those. And we should have a total of 8 single crochets across row 25. To begin row 26, we're going to chain 1 and turn. And we're going to do the same thing. We're going to work a single crochet decrease in the first 2 stitches. Then we're going to work a single crochet in each stitch across until we get to the last 2, where we'll end with a single crochet decrease. And this is row 26, and this is also our last row. So go ahead and work that single crochet decrease across the first 2 stitches and do a single crochet in each of the next 4 stitches. And that should bring us to the very last 2 stitches where we will work a single crochet decrease. And once we get there, we're going to go ahead and give ourselves a little bit of a tail. And we're then going to pull that chain 1 and pull that yarn all the way through to fasten off. And now we're going to grab our yarn needle and we're going to work on sewing the end in. And I am just going to come right here through this top loop. And then I'm just going to insert it to go through the back like that. And I'm going to turn my work over. And I am just going to work this yarn through a couple of these stitches. And then I'm just going to work it right back through. And then I'm going to trim my tail. And we have created one side of our elephant bath mitt. So go ahead and make another one of these, and I will meet back up with you and we will continue making the rest of our elephant bath mitt. When you have 2 pieces made, one for the front and one for the back of your elephant, we're going to take these and put them to the side. And using our same color yarn, we are going to make the trunk. And we're going to start with a slip knot. And we're going to chain 5. And we're going to work single crochets across this chain. We're going to skip our first stitch and we're going to work our first single crochet into the second chain from the hook and into the remaining 3 chains. So we will have a total of 4 single crochets across row 1. All right, and there's row 1. We're going to chain 1, and I'm going to work my foundation tail in as I go. So going into row 2, we're going to work 1 single crochet in each of those stitches across. So at the end of row 2, we will have a total of 4 single crochets. Again, I'm working my foundation tail in as I go. So when I get to the end of this row, I will cut off any remaining tail that I have. So there is the end of row 2 with 4 single crochets. Let's go ahead and cut that remaining foundation tail. And we're going to chain 1. And for rows 3 and 4, we are going to repeat row 2 by just working a single crochet in each of those 4 stitches across. And one more will complete row 3. And then we're going to chain 1, turn our work, and work 4 single crochets across row 4. And that's what we should have so far. For row 5, we're going to chain 1. We're going to single crochet into this first stitch, and then we're going to do a single crochet decrease into the next 2 stitches. So insert, pull up a loop, insert into the next stitch, pull up a loop. You have 3 loops on the hook, yarn over, and pull through all 3. And then in this last stitch of row 5, we are going to work a single crochet. We're going to chain 1, and we're going to turn our work, and we're going to repeat row 2 by working a single crochet in each stitch across. And you should have a total of 3 single crochets. All right, for row 7, which is going to be our last row for this trunk, we're going to chain 1, turn our work, and we're going to do a single crochet decrease in the first 2 single crochets. So insert your hook, pull up a loop, insert your hook, pull up a loop, 3 loops on the hook, yarn over, and pull through all 3. And then in the last single crochet, we are going to work a single crochet. And that should give you a total of 2 single crochets on your hook. And this is going to complete our elephant trunk. So we're going to just cut off a little bit of a tail to weave in. Chain 1 and pull through. And then just take your yarning needle and just weave in your tail. And I will meet back up with you and we will make our ears. For our ears, I'm going to switch over and use the dark gray yarn that I have chosen. And I'm going to start by making a slip knot. And we're going to begin with a foundation chain of 6. And when you have a foundation chain of 6, we're going to work a single crochet in the second chain from the hook. So we're going to skip this first chain and we're going to go right into this second chain and work a single crochet. We're going to skip this next chain and we're going to work 5 double crochets into the next one. So skip this one and right into this one we're going to work 5 double crochets. Again, to work a double crochet, you yarn over, insert your hook into the stitch, yarn over and pull up a loop, 3 loops on the hook, yarn over, pull through the first 2, yarn over and pull through the last 2. So let's work a total of 5 of those right into that stitch. All right, when you have 5 double crochets in that stitch, we are going to skip the next stitch, and right here in this very last one we're going to work a single crochet. And that is going to finish off row 1. Row 2, we're going to chain 1, turn our work, and we're going to single crochet into this very first single crochet. And then we're going to work 2 single crochets into each of our 5 double crochets. So 1 and then 2 into that first double crochet. Moving on to the next double crochet, we're going to work 2 single crochets in it. And we're going to do the same thing across the next 3 double crochets by working 2 single crochets in each one. And then we're going to end by working 1 single crochet into that very last single crochet. And that completes our ear. We're then going to cut a tail and fasten off and weave in our ends. And you'll need to make 1 more of those. So go ahead and weave in your ends and make 1 more ear, and I will come back and we will work on assembling our elephant bath mitt. And here are our 2 little gray ears. So we're going to put those aside, and then we're going to grab our black yarn and we're just going to cut a very small piece. You don't need very much. We're just going to use this to make some eyes. And to start off, I'm just going to create a little bit of a knot here at the end. And then I'm just going to cut off that little bit of a tail above that knot. And then I'm going to put my yarn into my darning needle, yarn needle, like that. And we're going to grab our trunk. And you just need to kind of figure out where you can place each eye so it's kind of centered. And then bring it up through for the first eye with the knot on the back. And then I'm going to kind of lay my yarn needle on top of my work like this. And I'm just going to wrap the yarn around my needle a couple times. And then just pull that yarn, I might have to wiggle it a little bit, through those pieces that I just wrapped. Like that. And then go back through your work. And there's your first little eye. And we're going to do it again for the other side. So I'm just going to come through right here. And again, I'm going to lay my needle down across my work like this, so that it's straight up and down, same length of my trunk. And I'm just going to wrap the yarn around my needle. I've done it about 4 times. And then again, just pull that yarn through those wraps. You might have to wiggle it a little bit just to get the needle out. And this is creating like a French knot. And there we go. And then we're just going to take our needle back down through. So now we have 2 little eyes on our trunk like that. And then we'll just go into the back here and then just weave it under a couple loops just to weave it in. And once we've done that a couple times and made sure that it's nice and secure, then we'll just cut it like that. And there's the 2 little eyes in my trunk. So now I'm going to grab one of my body for my elephant, and I have cut a small piece of gray yarn because that matches the ear. I cut maybe about 10 inches. I probably don't even need that much to use to sew the ear on. And I'm just going to line it up here with the top part of my body. And I'm just going to come through the back here and pull it through. And I'm going to leave myself enough of a piece that I can secure in when I'm finished. And then I'm just going to kind of sew this ear right on to my little body here. And I'm just kind of got it right up against the edge of the body piece. So it's enough that it's just right here on the front at the edge. And then we're right back here at the beginning. So we've just gone all the way around the ear and sewn it literally to this front piece of the body. So it is completely sewn on. I'm going to turn my work over, and I'm just going to, since this won't be seen, just take the two strands, the starting strand that was on the back when we started sewing and this last piece that we finished up with, and I'm just going to tie them into little knots like that. Again, they're not going to be seen, so we don't really have to weave them in. After you've knotted them a couple times and you feel pretty secure, you can just simply take your scissors and just trim them off. And then you're going to grab your second ear and you're going to do the same thing. You're going to sew it on right at the edge, just like you did the first one, like that. So go ahead and do that, and then I will meet back up with you and we'll work on the trunk. And here we go. We have our ear sewn on. So now we're going to take our trunk and we're going to center it right here between our ears, about midway, and we're going to sew it on using the same color of yarn that we made the elephant body in. And if you want, as you're sewing your trunk, you can kind of give it a little bit, after you get the top part sewn on here, you can kind of give it a little bit of a twist so that your trunk is kind of going to the side a little bit. And I'll show you what I mean. So I'm going to start with my trunk. Get it centered right here between the ears on the right side. And again, I'm going to leave just enough back here that I can secure it on with. And I'm going to go across the top of my trunk. Working across the top over to the left. And now I'm going to start coming down the side of my trunk. And after I do a couple stitches on the side here, I'm going to grab my trunk and I'm just going to kind of twist it like this and hold it in place so I can sew it down like that. And that way my trunk is kind of curving to the left a little bit here. And then I'm going to go ahead and come across the bottom. And if you stop and look a minute, now you can see how that's kind of curving to the left there a little bit. Again, just working myself all the way back up the right side of the trunk, just sewing it down until I come back to the very beginning where I started. And there we go. Our elephant face is on. And I personally think that the next time I make one of these, because I'm definitely going to be making some more, I will probably make the trunk in a different color than the color of the body, even though that's what the pattern suggests, because to me it looks like it's just washed out just a little bit. But it is still cute and adorable, and I like it. And we're going to flip him over so that the back side of this elephant face, which would be considered the wrong side, is facing us. Then we're going to grab the back piece of the body, and we're going to make sure that the right side is facing up, and we're going to lay them together. And then we are going to flip them over like this, and we're going to begin to assemble them. And we're going to do that by doing single crochet stitches. So let's get our yarn. And we're going to start by going right into this end stitch right here. And I'm having a little bit of difficulty, so you might have to just wiggle your hook in to that first stitch of your foundation chain there. And you do want to make sure you get both, there we go, both stitches. And then we're going to go right into that same stitch on the back side, also making sure that you get both loops just like that. And then we're going to grab our yarn and pull it through, and then grab just the working yarn and slip stitch it so it secures it down in. And then we're going to work right along the seam, going right into the stitches, and we're going to work a single crochet, and you can secure that tail down as you go if you'd like. And so we're just going to go right into the stitches and work a single crochet. And when you've worked a good bit of that foundation tail in and you feel like it's secure, you can then cut the excess. So I'm going to take just a minute and cut off the rest of my foundation tail. And we're just going to keep working all the way around our bath mitt, working single crochets to secure our bath mitts together. And when you get up here to the ear, you just have to kind of work a little behind that ear. Make sure I'm grabbing both loops. And we're just going to keep doing that all the way around. So go ahead and continue working a single crochet all the way around until your bath mitt is together. And I will meet you back up when you get to the very end over here. And of course, we're going to leave this little opening. And I will meet you when you get back here to this last stitch. So when you get all the way back around here to the end, we are just going to fasten off. And weave our tail in. And we have a bath mitt, but we are not quite done just yet. So go ahead and weave your tail end, and I'll come back and we're going to make a little cuff for our bath mitt. All right, so we're going to make a little bit of a cuff for our elephant bath mitt. You can use any color that you want that will accent your elephant. I am going to use the dark gray that I used in the ears. And we're going to take our work, and I'm going to come right into this seam stitch right here. Wiggle my hook in there like that. And I'm just going to attach my yarn. And once I have it secured down, I am going to just work a single crochet into each stitch around. So just walk along the bottom of it here. And add a single crochet in each of those stitches around. And we're working our way back around to the beginning. And I got one more here. And when we get back around to the beginning, we're just going to slip stitch to join, chain 1, and we're going to single crochet in each of those stitches around again. When we get back to the beginning, we are going to complete one more row. So we will join, chain 1, and single crochet in each of those stitches around for a third time. At the end of the third round, we will join with a slip stitch to complete the round, and we'll fasten off, and you'll have a nice little cuff for your bath mitt. So go ahead and complete this second round, join with a slip stitch, chain 1, and complete a third round, and fasten off with a slip stitch at the join, and I will meet you after you have fastened off and weaved your tail in. So here is our little elephant bath mitt. My only suggestion for me going forward is I think in the future I will do the trunk a different color than the body, just so it stands out. I may do it in the gray as well, or a lighter gray, just so it doesn't blend in so much. But other than that, this is our cute little bath mitt. And I don't know about you, but I'm ready to wash some kiddos in this. So I hope the kiddo that you have in mind enjoys their little bath mitt. And I hope you will join us next Monday as we come together to make one more bath mitt in the shape of a lion for our sweet little kiddos. Until then, take care, be joyful, stay crafty in your own way, and make your own joyful creations.